Hey guys, I'm Dupree, and today I'll be showing you how to masse the cue ball when it's like an extreme close masse situation. So I have not shown these before, so I really want to show you guys these masse shots. So let's go ahead and get into it. So I've shown you with one ball before how to masse, and that is a lot easier than massing with 2 or 3 or 4 blocker balls in the way. Now you do this, obviously in this case, if there weren't any blockers for the kick shot, you would want to take the kick because it is pretty much an automatic make. It's probably the easiest kick shot that you're going to get. Let's say we're blocked by that. Let's say we're playing 8-ball, we're stripes. We're blocked from the kick right now. We cannot use spin to kick. We could masse kick and try to use a bunch of left spin with some low left spin and masse kick it. But the regular masse, I think, is much easier. We have this helper rail here, so if we masse and hit this rail, then we should be fine to make that ball. So, for this masse, we are just going to curve our cue ball straight up through the gap and then back around to pot the 9. And since we are curving up and to the left, we're going to need to elevate a lot, hit mostly bottom, but since we're curving to the left just a tad, we're going to use a tad bit of left spin. Shocking, right? So a tad bit of left spin, and we're just going to hit down, way down on the cue ball, and we're going to have to hit hard. I usually like to aim like halfway. I like to aim kind of at this rail. You have to play around with it to find the perfect aim, but that's just the aim that I like to use. So bottom left spin, we're elevating almost 90 degrees, almost fully elevated. You could also brizz like this if there's not a one hand on the table rule, but full elevation. Make sure your tip is chalked up real well, because if it is not chalked up, then you will miscue. But we're gonna have to hit a lot harder than the previous masse shots I've showed you. These are harder shots in this video, more advanced shots, some that you may not even want to take. So let's just go ahead and show this shot. So for this next shot, let's say the ball we are trying to make is up here. We got our 9 ball up here frozen in the pocket. We got our cue ball down here. We got a blocker going this way, blocker that way. There's really no way to get to this 9 ball. It's going to be very difficult to make it. One thing that we could do, we could try to Z-bank it, but that again is a tough one, and again, could be blocked. So in this layout, there is almost no choice but to masse out of this situation. And we are curving to the right in this case. So what spin do you think we're going to use? Bottom right spin. That bottom is going to make it hook around here, and the right spin is going to bring it that way. We're going to use a bit more right spin in this situation. We're going to hit about right here. But again, we're going to elevate a ton. We're going to elevate and hit down, real down on this ball. And we're going to have to hit hard. If you hit too soft, you're going to curve way too soon. There really is no way to hit too hard. You can hit too thick on the cue ball. If you hit too thick on the cue ball, it will not masse. If you hit too thin, you will miscue. So you got to hit the right thickness on the cue ball. So again, it just takes a little bit of playing around. But what I found is if you take the iCue training ball right here and you lay it down this way, the thickness that you're hitting is usually your tip is like at the B right here. So if you hit the B, if you have the iCue, if you have the iCue, that's the way you can test it. But if you don't, you're just going to have to pay attention to this or order it. But hit the B straight down. That's about that thickness. You see, it's about a tip and a half inward of the cue ball. Just strike down right there. Again, the iCue's facing up. Strike down right there, and then it starts to spin backwards and to the right. And it should spin right into this 9 ball. Again, make sure you're chalked up. Don't want to miscue. Hit that right thickness with bottom right spin. So this next shot, we are going to attempt to make the 9 ball into this corner. Now, as you see, I like shooting Masse shots when the ball is close to the pocket. It makes it a bit easier. It makes it a lot easier, actually, to shoot that. So we're going to shoot this shot right here. We are trying to pot the 9 ball into the corner that's hanging over, but our cue ball is right here. So we cannot kick, obviously. It's too far of an angle right here to just kick with right spin, kick with left spin, I mean, and try to reverse it back. You cannot do that with this angle. It will not work. It'll always go that direction. It's too steep, is what I'm trying to say. So what we're going to have to do is we are going to have to masse the cue ball up around the 5. It's going to come back here, come down the rail, pot the 9 into the corner. Now this one is a bit harder of a shot. We do not want to shoot it this way and try to curve up this way, just because that's a lot harder. We could hit the 5. I would prefer going this way and shooting it like this. So this shot, I'm aiming for about the 3rd diamond on the short rail. We're going to have to elevate a lot again, 90 degrees, all the way elevated, or maybe 80, 85, but pretty much all the way elevated with a bit of low right spin. Again, we are using more right spin, about where the diagonal line is on the iCue. Where the diagonal line is usually where we are going to hit for Masse shots. So we're just going to strike down. This one we might have to air bridge. Strike down with low right, follow through all the way until your tip hits the table. Cue ball should come up, curve around that 9 ball, and we should be good to make it. And here it is. Now this right here was a shot that was shot by Paul Newman in The Hustler. Jackie Gleason played Minnesota Fats in The Hustler. But this was shot by Paul Newman in the movie The Hustler. And the goal is to pot the 8 ball with a Masse stroke. 8 ball will go here, cue ball goes up, curves back around, hits the 6, and pockets it in the corner. Now the setup's pretty simple. This actually can come up in a game, and it has before on like a 1-9 combo. This is where I would like to shoot it. You can shoot it if you're comfortable with it. You'll definitely make the 8. You won't scratch anything, so there really is no harm in trying it. Especially if you're going to get like guaranteed position on the 2 ball no matter what. But what we're going to do is we are going to masse, and we're going to aim for the 6 ball. I like to aim straight into the 6 ball. And we're going to use low right English. Just a tad bit of right though, not a ton of right. So like we're hitting bottom, just a tad bit over to the right, because you want it to curve to the right just a bit, just enough for it to come back and hit that 6 ball right here. You can move the 6 as close to the corner pocket as you'd like, as long as it's not in the way of the 8 ball. You don't want it to be in the way of the 8 as it's going in. I like to kind of freeze it to this point. If it's in a game, you can't control where it is, but if you're just shooting it just for fun and to show off to your friends. But we are going to have to elevate 85, 90 degrees. We're going to air bridge. I put my wrist. I like to keep my wrist to my hip bone. So I put my wrist on my hip bone. We're going to put our aiming point, low right spin, follow through all the way through the table. Don't hit it too hard. We can hit this one a little bit softer, but we're still going to have to hit it hard. This is not like a regular Masse shot. Our cue ball will probably Masse up a diamond worth of table before coming backwards to make the 6. And here's the shot. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, please click the like button down below. If you want to be notified when I post a new video, you can click the subscribe button, then the bell icon right next to it. That will just send you an email and a notification saying that I've uploaded a new video. If you guys are interested in improving your game, I'd like to introduce you to a product called the iCue training ball. Now what this does is if you set it up, it's got a little face on it as you see. If you set it up, and you hit it with your cue, and you aim for a point on it, and you shoot, a little chalk mark is left right where your tip contacted the ball. So you can actually tell if you think you're hitting where you actually are hitting. If you think you're hitting where you are hitting, that's very important in the game. If you haven't seen my video on deflection or you don't know what deflection is, go check that out. But basically, the direction you hit the cue ball, the way you hit the cue ball, is the way you play the game. That affects your aiming, that affects your position play. So you can correct everything with that one ball right there. So if you'd like to order the iCue, you can go to www.icueclinic.com. That's icueclinic.com. I have the link to it down below. Also check out the link to my apparel sponsor, BrutalUSA.com. Also check out the various Amazon links down in the description for different billiards products that I use. So thank you guys so much for watching. Check out the links in the description, and I will see you in the next video.